Clinic lang.
Sa nagdaang public hearing of the Committee on Finance, ay muling tinalakay ang tungkol sa kultong Socorro Bayanihan Services Incorporated o SBSI. Dito ay inisa-isang question ni Minority Leader Senador Risa Hontiveros, ang Department of Environment and Natural Resources o DENR, kung bakit binigyan umano ng pahintulot ang SBSI, na tumira sa protected area ng Socorro. Ito umano ang naging daan at dahilan, upang magsagawa ang mga ito ng ilegal na gawain, lalo na't sangkot ang mga ito sa child trafficking, secret military training, at iba pang pang-aabuso sa mga menor de edad.
Magandang umaga po, Secretary, at sa lahat po. Yung una ko pong mga tanong tungkol sa cancellation of the Socorro Bayanihan Services Inc. Protected Area Community-Based Resource Management Agreement. So last week, DNR canceled the Pakbrama of the SBSI. I understand that DNR started investigating the violations of the agreement as early as 2019. It denied Bayanihan's community-based resource management plan in 2019 for violations related to checkpoints and military-style training of its security. So even then, so can you please confirm this, Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Your Honor. Yes, I wish to just clarify that what the DNR has issued is a suspension of the Pakbarma, pending our investigation now on the violations that were identified, given the specific document, Madam Chair, Your Honor, that I have shared with you. At this point, yes, indeed, in the report, there were already observations and findings previously, and I will turn over then to the Undersecretary for Field Operations Mindanao for the clear recounting of the chronology. Just to update the body, Madam Chair, Your Honor, we had personally served yesterday evening at the site of the Kapihan, the suspension. It is also served by registered mail. So as of yesterday, they had received the suspension order in person. And just to update, Madam Chair, we are now in coordination with Secretary Denr Abalos, Secretary Remulla of the DOJ, and Secretary Rex Gatchalian, excuse me, for an integrated approach to the investigations regarding this particular situation, Madam Chair. So there will be a meeting tomorrow between the secretaries. Secretary Denr will, however, be in Basilan, but he will be represented by an undersecretary and by the PNP representative. So if I may, Madam Chair, Your Honor, I'll turn over to Undersecretary Fagada for the chronology.
Thank you, Secretary, Madam Chair. And before the USEC speaks also, salamat din po sa pagsabi ninyo na kayo ni na Sec Remulla, Abalos at Gatchalian ay gagawa at maghahanap ng integrated approach, and that's also one of my follow-up questions later. Thank you, Secretary. Yes, USEC, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Your Honor. We have a short chronology of events that we submitted to Your Honor regarding the ongoings for the past years. As you mentioned, it is correct. On 2019, there was an investigation done actually by then Secretary Roy Simatu with the DILG Secretary Ed Anyo, and visited this area due to the pressing issues regarding SBSI, namely restrictions in the entry of a farmer non-member with farm lot situated within the Pakbarma area. Number 2, alleged establishment of the checkpoint and military training within the Pakbarma area. And number 3, alleged resignation of teachers, men in uniform, and elected barangay officials. And number 4, establishment of structures within the Pakbarma area. So, as early as 2019, ma'am, there was an investigation done already regarding certain issues. No, on the part of the DNR, ma'am, the Pakbarma is a tenurial instrument that we give to tenured migrants in protected areas, mostly to give them a chance to have livelihood. That's the main intention, Madam Chair, Your Honor. So under that agreement, the Pakbarma agreement, there is no condition there that you can live in the area unless you're a tenured migrant and it is proven you have a list of the registered tenured migrants in that specific area where the Pakbarma is. So this happened all 2019, ma'am. The last action of SBSI that the DNR required them to have was a CBRMP. That's a community-based resource management plan. Okay, so they were able to submit it for 2019 to 2023, but it was not adopted, and the DNR told them to revise. So till such time, 2021 and 2022, our regional office continually reminded them of updating the CBRMP, the plan for this area, ma'am. Madam Your Honor, Madam Chair, Your Honor. Until it reached 2023, ma'am, as mentioned by the Good Secretary, we did issue the suspension letter. We suspended the actual privileges and rights of a Pakbarma holder. So, we already created an investigation team in the regional level, and as mentioned also, we're trying to pursue an interagency approach because one of the problems we foresee, just in case violations are found and there are grounds for termination, problems such as resettlement for some of the people in the area. Madam Chair.
Exactly, Yusek. Yes, thank you so much, Yusek. Binanggit nyo nga na tenorial instrument ito, pero walang condition na you can live there unless certain conditions are met. And in fact, may higit 3,000 tao na nakatira na po doon, including more than 1,000 children. And hindi pa nga natin na itatanong, ano bang carrying capacity nung area na yon. And salamat, binanggit nyo rin na yung usapin ng livelihood, bahagi yun ng pakete ng Pakbarma, and that's also related to one of my follow-up questions. Yes, Madam Chair, of course.
Intercede. You're talking of carrying capacity. Are we allowed to build houses in a legislated protected area for the normal people? I mean,
Madam Chair, actually, in that under the provisions
the whole Siargao is a legislated protected area, and that has been approved by Congress. I cannot imagine that we will allow people to live in a legislated protected area.
Although Yusek, Madam Chair, I understand ang kapihan bahagi ng Barangay Sering sa Socorro, bagamat bahagi din ng Surigao del Norte, distinct siya dun sa Siargao as protected area. But, meron nga po kayong Pakbarma sa kanila. So, if the good Yusek could please address the question of the Chair.
Madam Chair, yes. Under the provisions of the Pakbarma, there shall be no permanent structures built within the protected area. Because the Pakbarma is a protected area agreement. It's a community-based forest management agreement inside the protected area. And yes, Madam Chair, you are correct. Permanent structures shouldn't be built within the area because we are still under the assumption that it's government property and it's only leased out. So we do not allow the building of permanent structures. Yes, Madam Chair.
Salamat, Madam Chair. If I may continue, Yusek, bago ko dumako dun sa usapin ng resettlement na binanggit nyo na po, I understand there was also substantial clearance of the forest. Bahagi po ba ito ng findings ng investigation before or now?
Madam Chair, actually, that's one of the things we'd like to we'd like the investigative team to look at, no, because it's very essential for us, since like I mentioned, Madam Chair, Your Honor, that it's only the agreement is truly for creation of jobs through planting, through harvesting of certain portions. So there's a declared CBP. They have a community-based plan wherein it's identified which areas they can harvest and they can plant on. So even the species are identified, bamboo, rattan, there are certain species that are utilized. So that's all part of the community-based resource management plan.
But I would guess po, Yusek, Madam Chair, na yung sinasabing alleged substantial clearance, hindi po yan contemplated sa isang pakbarma.
Yes, Your Honor.
Salamat, Yusek. And maybe just as a follow-up to this, yes, Madam Chair.
I'd like to show the picture.
Yes, Madam Chair.
We have pictures, so you will.
Salamat po, Madam Chair. And as we're also looking at these photos, Yusek, Madam Chair, bago tayo dumako dun sa usapin, importanteng usapin ng resettlement, with these violations, no, why did it take 4 years? I mean, a long time to suspend the pakbarma of SBSI.
Madam Chair, Your Honor, if it's okay, I have the Regional Director of Region 13 who is more familiar with the territory and very familiar with the ongoings in the area. If you can allow
Madam Chair? Yes, Madam Chair.
To acknowledge the presence of Senator Lauren Regarda, our Senate President pro tempore. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Unless the Senate President pro tempore would like to... thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, Madam Chair, Regional Director, just dun lang po sa punto pong iyon, bakit po tumagal ng 4 na taon kahit may nadidiscover na pong mga violations bago masuspindi po yung pakbarma ng SBSI?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Your Honor. Yung pong simula...
Sir, pakilapit yung mic sa bibig nyo.
Yung simula po ng us finding out of these activities, ano pong mga taon na 2019. So that was during the pandemic, and then there was...
Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, by the way, I'm Regional Director Noni Tamayo po ng DNR Caraga. So, sir, ma'am, Your Honors, that was the pandemic, the earthquake, and then Odette. So, while we've been doing our monitoring regularly in the areas, I must admit that for humanitarian reason, parang na-consider ko po yun na hindi ko recommend for cancellation. But then again, we wrote them 2 letters, twice, in 2021 and 2022, reminding them of their obligations. So, basically yun po, Madam Chair, Your Honor.
Yung 3 pong dahilan na binanggit nyo, Director, pandemic, earthquake, at ano po yung pangatlo?
Odette, ma'am.
Si Typhoon Odette, opo. Well, siguro naman, kahit nung pandemic, gumagana pa rin naman yung gobyerno natin. Pati po yung mga department, pati po yung mga regional offices ng department. Yung nabanggit yung pong earthquake, actually, ayon sa aming pananaliksik, yun pa nga yung ginamit na dahilan, excuse, para hikayatin nung pinaka-leader ng SBSI, yung libo-libong mga taong umakyat doon sa kapihan. And Typhoon Odette, di umano, at ito po iniimbestigahan ngayon ng DSWD, pati daw po yung disaster ayuda sa mga tao, kinaltasan pa daw po ng mga leader ng SBSI. So, sayang po, posible mahirap nang balikan ng nakaraan, pero posible po kung umaksyon sa tamang paraan at degree ng mas timely yung regional office, baka nga po hindi gumrabe yung sitwasyon po doon. Hindi lang kaugnay ng pakbarma, pero sabi nyo nga for humanitarian reasons, hindi inaksyon na ng office nyo. Pero nagkaroon talaga ng humanitarian problems doon. Lalo na sa mga bata na aming pong kasalukuyang iniimbestiga ni Chair Doroy de la Rosa. So, well, gusto ko lang pong i-make of record yun, Madam Chair, para sa kaalaman para manote din po sana ng regional office kasi ilan pa kayang mga pakbarma sa ating bansa ay kung nangangailangan ng aksyon ng regional offices, mangangailangan nito in timely fashion po. Hindi po aabot ng 4 na taon at paggrabe ng paggrabe pala yung sitwasyon. Anyway, salamat po Director, Madam Chair. Kung makabalik po ako kay Yusek, kay Sec. Yes, yes, Madam Chair.
With the permission
Of course
Senator
po.
Risa, just to follow up yung punto na sinabi mo, Senator Risa. Madam Chair, yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Andito na, nakasalang si RD, gusto ko na lang yung ituloy-tuloy na yung sanang RD, yung the first attempt pa lang sana ng mga tao mo na pumasok doon, tapos binawalang pumasok. Kung lumapit ka na kagad sa PNP o kaya sa Philippine Army doon, nagpatulong ka to assert your power as a regulating agency, baka hindi na lumala ang sitwasyon, di ba? Kasi kayo na talagang first and last touch dyan, whether at i-blame natin yung LGU, i-blame natin DSWD, PNP or what, pero kayo talagang pinaka may unang stats and last stats dyan sa area. So, siguro, yun nga, nabanggit na lang yung medyo sinabi po kasi hearing na takot na pumunta doon kasi sabi ng isang membro, may nakahanda na booby trap sa'yo doon, may bitik. Bitikon ka kung pupunta ka doon, di ba? So, it's about time na you use the whole of government approach in dealing with such kind of problem. Coordinate ka sa police kagad, coordinate ka sa mga agencies na doon para ma-stop na kagad. And going forward, habang dito ka, tanongin na lang with the permission of Senator Risa, so,
Yes, Madam Chair.
meron din akong report na natanggap dyan sa Langga. Yung mga illegal laging dyan ng magkuno. Sa report daw ninyo, takot daw kayo dahil mga armado daw yung mga nag-illegal laging. Daming army dyan, daming pulis. Magpatulong ka para may stop mo yan doon. Alam mo, magkuno. Yan. Alam mo na, DNR kay. Anong klaseng species yan? Napakagandang species ng kahoy at it took centuries to have that kind of species harvested, di ba? So, dapat action mo na yan. Huwag kang matakot dyan sa mga armado na yan. Dahil police doon, patulong ka. Yun lang, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Risa. Thank you.
Ready now to flash the pictures of the area.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you.
So, we'll see. Okay? Senator Risa.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
Ready na?
Hindi pa talaga tayo sa bagong building lugar para maganda na yung...
You flash na. The pictures.
While we're waiting for the photos, Madam Chair, if I can just continue my questions. Salamat, Madam Chair. So, USEC or SEC, with the suspension, ano pong mangyayari dun sa 3,500 people na katira sa area, lalo na po yung mga kababaihan at yung mga bata? Saan po sila ilo-locate or i-relocate?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Your Honor. At this moment, ma'am, and that's precisely the intention of our meeting tomorrow, to provide an integrated approach that involves the protection of the most vulnerable. And so, in our conversation with Secretary Rex Gatchalian, he also cited, in fact, the concerns. And so, we will be actually having that design of an integrated approach, Madam Chair, Your Honor. In fact, as of the suspension, there will be no movement at this time. The investigation is ongoing. And if I may just share, Madam Chair, Your Honor, the SBSI is not the only pakbarma in the area. There are several. And we are going to be looking at these other pakbarmas as well, because we would like to actually attribute what we are seeing via satellite imagery in terms of the increase in the number of roof structures that can be observed from the satellite imagery over time. If we will be allowed, Madam Chair, after the showing of the pictures, we would like to show a very quick just analysis of publicly available data from Google Earth. We have not done, of course, a very in-depth analysis as of this date. However, what will have to happen is what we see remotely from the satellite will have to be ground-truthed, and that will be done by those that will be located and sent there in order to determine the actual presence of the different settlement and homeowners.
So, yes, Madam Chair.
In this connection, we want to know the report. I think there is a report on, these are the pictures now of that Socorro Island.
Particularly Kapihan, Madam Chair.
So,
Socorro ng Socorro every
what's wrong? No, it's happening. Yeah, you have sublet to people so they can make money out of our protected area, because we have a protected area in Las Piñas. We don't make money out of it. We donate to it. Yeah, how come? How many contracts all in all in the Philippines? Yeah, yeah. It's a protected area. How many? How many protected area?
Madam
Yes, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, Your Honor, if I may,
In the Philippines, how many protected area you have sublet to people?
so right now, Madam Chair, as of the data that we have available, and we will complete this as we
to make a report.
put
But
this
give
together.
us an idea of
Yes, ma'am.
how many protected areas.
Out of the 114, 22 PAs have 37 approved SAPA or
Isapa.
SAPA, Special Agreement on the Protected Areas po.
Okay.
So we will
So,
complete that.
37.
Yes, Madam. On the Pakbarma issue, there are a total of 119 Pakbarmas. I wish to point out, Madam Chair, just for this discussion, in the Socorro municipality, there are 9 Pakbarmas.
What is a pakparma?
Protected area.
That's the protected area.
Resource
Yes,
Management
ma'am.
Agreement.
Madam Chair.
Area. What is SAPA?
Special agreement for the protected area.
So they are both agreements.
Yes, Madam.
So it's 37 plus 119.
On the Pakbarmas, Madam, there are 119.
So almost all the protected areas have
But Madam Chair, the Pakbarmas are concentrated on specific areas. And if I may just share,
So how many protected areas are affected? There are 116, 156 agreements, di ba? In total.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair,
can you also cite how many hectares yung coverage ng mga
Yeah, they will make a report.
Madam Chair, we will be
have an
submitting.
idea of how many protected areas have agreement. Para, ano,
Madam
Chair? There are, up to the INIPAS law, 114
Yes.
protected areas, okay? After the INIPAS, how many more were enacted into law?
no, that's
7? Okay, let's...
no, 101 plus 7, and now we are enacting 13.
Okay, never mind that what we are enacting. So, let's peg it at the 114 up to the INIPAS law. And, let's do it this way. Before the assumption of Secretary Loizaga, what were the protected areas, marine or terrestrial, that have community-based forest management, CBFM, SAPA, what is SAPA? The Special Agreement for Protection. Okay, how many have SAPA? And what
156.
and then what are the other tenurial agreements? Or if it's not tenurial, whatever agreements there are between DNR and or LGU with a PO, cooperative, association, an LGU movement, or informal settlers that may not have a SAPA or a CBFM or any agreement, but you are aware that they exist and nahihirapan kayo. Yan, to be fair. So that is what we're asking. Before Sec Loizaga, who was only installed 1 year ago. Now, during Sec Loizaga's assumption 1 year ago, up to now, are there new SAPAs and CBFM and informal settlers, etc., in protected areas para makita natin? And under whose term are these SAPAs and CBFM from what is first 1986, etc., so that we see and what kind of agreements did they enter into, right? Perhaps if you have the information, that would be very helpful to the query, because earlier when I heard, I was writing and we were briefly speaking, when I heard the term, I know you have the time, no, Minority Leader, Deputy Minor, when I heard that Socorro LGU, I was just a bit jarred, because everywhere during session we've been talking about the so-called alleged cult in Socorro. So I was wondering, I said Socorro again, but I did not realize until the chair mentioned that they were
In a
the cult
protected
in a PA, right? So how can a supposed alleged cult, I don't want to pass judgment because I don't have first-hand information, secure a CBFM? And under what movement, under what cooperative, what are the documents? I think that is a answer that begs a question, and then the secretary can mention all various arrangements with tenurial agreements, whatever, in PAs. That's a fair question, right? Okay, thank you.
Sabi nila 156 agreement. 156
156 SAPA.
no, 37 SAPA and 119 PAC Varma. So far. So that's 156.
Yes, Madam Chair. If we may be allowed, we will break it down per region and
Yeah.
per PA.
No, per PA,
Yes,
per region.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will make a report.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you give it this afternoon ba?
Madam Chair, we will try our best, but certainly we will be able to deliver even by
So we
this
can
afternoon.
give the list to every senator. So we will have an idea of kasi dalawa na yan Masungi and this one. Parehong controversial, di ba? So baka hindi lang nadidinig yan, pero marami na rin controversial in their particular area. Sabi niya, hindi lang ito ang last cult dyan sa mga protected area, itong Socorro
Siguro, nasagot na ba ni Secretary sa anong agreement nakakuha yung alleged supposed cult ng CBFM or agreement sa DNR? Yun. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So they have or they hold a PAC Varma. PAC Varma. So protected area community-based resource management agreement.
protected area.
Opo. And that was given, if I may be allowed.
Klaro mo lang, speak closer. Community, CBFM, no? Barma, what is Barma?
Community-based
Management. Resource management. Protected area.
Barma. Iba pa yung Barma sa CBFM.
Yes. Opo. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what the alleged cult.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, Madam Chair, Your Honor. If I may be allowed, was granted on June 15, 2004. This is a 25-year agreement. On the same date, June 15, 2004, in the same vicinity, there were two other PAC Varmas that were granted. And subsequent, prior to 2004, there was one granted to Osmeña Planters Association, which is in the PA. However, Madam, those that were granted in the Socorro area, another bunch of PAC Varmas granted in 2017, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more pakbamas granted in Socorro.
7.
7. And then the other areas were in other areas of...
Sign this.
Madam, we will have to do our research on that.
I think,
documentation.
To be fair to Sec. Loizaga, may we ask those who are who have been in DNR for a long time? I'm sure Attorney Leones, Attorney Te, Attorney Cuna would know this because we were working with you. I authored the INIPAS, which included the Siargao landscape. And then when Senator Villar became the chairman of environment, she sponsored it. So sinuri natin ang bawat PA. Siguro shed light to us. There's nothing wrong. I mean, malay naman yun na cult yung mga party doon. Sino sa inyo yung mga matagal na sa DNR? Maybe you should tell us, right? Sec. Loizaga, who among your undersecretaries can actually, it's Undersecretary Fragada, I'm not sure, yeah, just assign whoever can explain to us if if this alleged, again I say supposed, cult was part of it, because when we study as lawmakers, we say Siargao protected landscape. We don't know the personalities and their beliefs and their ways, right? Natin sinusuri yan eh. We don't know, right? Can you assign someone to give us enlightenment on this? Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, Madam Chair, Your Honor. If I may ask Undersecretary Mark Fragada, Undersecretary for Mindanao Field Ops, to please respond.
Madam Chair, Your Honor, thank you. Ma'am, just a quick briefer about Pakbarma. No? Like the good senator mentioned earlier, it's like a CBFM area in forest land. It's a community-based forest management agreement. In a protected area, that is the CBFM, which is the Protected Area Community-Based Resource Management Agreement. And the main purpose of a Pakbarma, which is given inside a multiple-use zone in a protected area to tenured migrants, is to be able to create livelihood for these people who have been identified in the area 5 years before it's being proclaimed as protected. Yes, madam. So the whole intention of the
From Laguna, that we ask them to leave. Because how can you live in a protected area? What will happen to the protected area? My God, oh.
Madam Chair, you will be shocked to see that all our protected areas have populations living there, have businesses. I think you should, what you know we should do? Have a PowerPoint of each protected area, all the tenurial agreements entered into in the past decades, and show the informal settlers there is no virgin protected area. Punong-puno po ng tao, komunidad, negosyo, at extraction. I am certain of that. If there is one protected area na walang ni isang taong nilalang, hindi po.
Madam Chair.
Kaya nga, kaisa-isa po yan. I think DNR say so. There is no such thing.
Madam Chair.
Years.
Madam Chair. I just wanted to also add this additional point dito sa discussion natin na meron din namang extreme model na kanino ko ba narinig ito? Yung Yellowstone model ng protected area. Kasi meron din namang mga protected area, and we'll learn from DNR ilan ba ito dito sa ating bansa, na kumbaga since time immemorial, halimbawa may mga katutubong Filipino doon, and hindi naman natin sila i-clear out doon kasi sila nga yung nakatira, nag-aalaga, nagsusustain nung later tinakda ng ating modernong gobyerno na protected area. Tulad nung, kaya siguro tinawag na Yellowstone yun kasi dun sa mga protected area sa US, itinaboy yung mga Native American kahit kanila talaga yung ancestral dominion. So just that additional point. Madam Chair, Secretary would like to... Yes, Madam Chair.
Para sa iba pang karagdagang mga balita ng Senyora Buzz, ay mag-comment lamang po, mag-like at mag-share sa video na ito, at huwag po nating kalimutang mag-subscribe sa aming channel. Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood.